When we think of Avatar, we think of the long-running series beloved by all, award-winning films by James Cameron, not anything else that anyone would know or even care about. But today we get something even better, a new Avatar by Kelela. Sorry if I'm getting that name wrong, I'm an idiot. Are you as confused as I am? Forget about Earth, Wind, and whatever the hell that is. New Avatar is something else. I kind of had an idea of what I was going into, but I left feeling pleasantly surprised and satisfied. This future R&B album is really kind of good. It really rewards you for taking your time to listen to it. It's a showcase of how effortlessly Kelela blends genres together. Completely different musical worlds without anything feeling unnatural or kind of misplaced. As she kind of described it, bridging the gap between genres and their cultural meaning. The frustration and exhaustion is really exposed in this really emotional songwriting going on. You have rock elements going on in the track Going Down, some shoegaze and that tight guitar on the opening track Idea 1, future garage ambient on the bridge featuring the wonderful PinkPantheress. New Avatar feels like a natural progression from the album Raven, but it's definitely less club focused. I mean, the beats are still there, but they're sharing the spotlight with hazy guitars and ambient atmospheres, which actually gives this album a bit of a moody, dream-like feeling. It's softer in places, rougher in others, but again, those two worlds complement each other beautifully. Sorry if I look awfully sweaty, the heat wave is killing me. Help. Production-wise, it's great. It's incredibly detailed, even when it's quite minimal. There are tiny textures, strange little sounds hidden throughout the tracks. For example, Out of Time featuring A.K. Paul, which is always a pleasure to hear his sound and influence every now and then. You have this incredibly sharp bass and this subtle guitar sound in the background, almost used as like a pad. Then halfway through, A.K. Paul comes through and the mood totally changes. Things get a bit darker and I'm trying to figure out what all these sounds are. There's so much going on. It's a great use of panning and spatial awareness. Yeah, I think the whole track just sounds really fucking good. It's the sort of album where wearing headphones makes a difference. Some other great tracks are Linknb, which is supposed to be like a Linkin Park meets R&B style song. It's such a great track and I really like it. The drums are solid and the guitars have this really bright, early, naughty sound to them. And then alongside all of this, you have her dreamy vocals and it just really sounds great together. Another standout track is Don't Piss Me Off, with that UK bass sound and that crisp texture, and it's just really well mixed. The different genres and especially the guitar aren't for like shock value or anything here. They're here for another texture, another emotion, just adding seamlessly to what is already going on. They blend into the electronic elements without competing with them, making the whole album feel fresh without changing what Kelela had in the first place. A bit of a return to her indie roots rather than a reinvention. The middle of the album is where my first criticism comes in a bit. The start of the album had this moody rock ethereal vibe to it, but partway through the album feels slightly consumed by one atmosphere. Because things blend together so naturally, tracks don't seem to stand out on their own. It's immersive, which is definitely a compliment and a great thing to be. Retaliation Lullaby flows a little too seamlessly from Crystallize and Against Me. Individually, they are quite nice, but together they're just kind of like a really similar thing going on. That said, I'd rather have an album that's consistently excellent than one that's trying to chase standout moments and, I don't know, like singles. Then as we get to the latter end, things pick up again for me, and it gets a bit more dancey, club focused. The before mentioned Linknb and Don't Piss Me Off, but we also get new life forms featuring Fushi. You have this great beat and rhythm, together they're so complementary, and I love how bouncy the track is. And then you have Bridge featuring PinkPantheress, which brings the mood to something slightly darker. And of course, they both complement each other just as well. Finally, we end on If We Meet Again, which is a complete vocal highlight. You have this minimal bassy sound off in the background, kind of blurry, as almost if she's the focus of the song. Kelela's vocals are the highlight here. Strong lyrics like a confession, really laying it out for someone, this is what I want, are you in? A really strong end to what I thought was a pretty great album. Kelela is really living up to expectation, I think, especially after her previous album, Raven. New Avatar feels like a step forward, but it gets better with each listen. Yeah, sure, it dips a little bit in the middle for me, but it's not enough to take away from its strengths. What's a night out if you don't have a bit of a cry, am I right? It's emotional, it's dark, but it feels great. So all in all, I would give this album an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought down below, or if you want to check out a new video, please do. I'm sorry it's been a while, but thank you for sticking with me. All my new subscribers, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you, I really do. And yeah, hopefully see you on the next one. Thank you very much.